Welcome to the Move Me podcast with Kevin Methvin. Today we have the very astute, very thorough, and also very legendary, I would say, Shanen Dawson with Blue Diamond Home Inspection. And not only is my favorite home inspector, and you'll find out why, but he's a hell of a third baseman. In fact, we played kickball together, and that's how we met. And I didn't even realize he was a home inspector until the season was over. I think Mark asked you straight up, "Hey, are you a home inspector?"
Yeah, no, I went throughout the whole season. I just told you guys I was a Marine.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't tell you I was a home inspector. And Mark finally said, "Hey, do you do home inspections?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, we're all in the community. Why didn't you tell us?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, I just want to meet you guys and get to know you before I start handing out business cards."
Yeah. And, because, thank you again for serving our country for more than 2 decades. You retired from doing the Marines and started your own business, and it just shot off. People just love you and love working with you. And
appreciate it.
You have such a great reputation here locally that, it seems like there's already one of your inspections up there that the other buyer's agent's like, well, we're not going to find anything else.
Yeah, no, that's a good compliment. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's what I experienced on my end. So, and we've been working together for quite a few years now. And didn't you just get a new designation too, like a black belt?
Yeah.
Home inspection. What is that called?
Yeah, no. So we are a certified professional inspector when you get your certification through one of the certification companies. But once you reach 1,000 inspections, which we reached at the end of last year, you become a certified master inspector. There's other things involved. You have to continue an education.
Mm-hmm.
You have an ethics. You have to make sure you're in good ethics standing within the certification company.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's nice. It's cool to be able to change my logo on my website from certified professional inspector to a certified master inspector. Right.
All right. Definitely a nice little bump there. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Cool. So since you're doing so many inspections, you got a lot of stories, I'm sure, that you can share. But before we get into that, what would you say the top 3 things are if you're looking to sell or buy a home that you should be looking out for? Things, preventative maintenance, I guess.
Yeah, no. I always go to my number one is you got to clean your gutters. You got to make sure that the water is flowing off your roof into the gutter system and pushing it away from your house. So many inspections, so many houses I go to, they have loose gutters or clogged gutters or a loose tile on the roof that they just haven't seen, because they're not buying and selling houses, so they're not doing inspections. That is push water into places it's not supposed to. And water's good for you when you drink it, but for your house, it causes quite a bit of damage. I always tell my clients that when it comes to water, the longer you wait, the more money it's going to cost you. So that's probably the biggest thing is we got to make sure that the water's flowing in the right direction. But we can't defer maintenance. We got to keep up with the maintenance of the house. We got to upgrade, go into some of the older cities when houses were built a long time ago. They have old electrical systems that no one's touched or looked at. And, there's new standards and new requirements and more safety issues that are, available nowadays than were back then. They used to use fuses, rather than breakers.
I've seen
right?
those. Yeah, those
they're
old
still
houses
out
in
there.
Oakland.
They're out there. So things like that just get you kind of a little behind the power curve. But if you keep up on your maintenance, you keep up with your upgrades, and do inspections more than when you buy and sell a house, because you'll run into issues. I had a client that their parents had passed away, and the kids were all getting ready to sell the house, and I was doing an inspection, and I saw a crack in the stucco where not normally where I see cracks and stucco. Usually it's on windows or doors off the corner and stuff like that, just because of the shifting of the framing and whatnot. So went and did my whole inspection, and when the last thing I do is I go under the house because that's where I get the dirtiest.
I've seen you in the coveralls.
So I get under the house, and the kitchen sink pipe is broken. The drain line is broken. And I'm not talking about spare bathroom that
the kitchen, you're using that every day.
Right. Yeah. Multiple times a day. And I don't know how long it had been broken under there, but they've been in the house for a long time. And what had happened is all that water, all that drainage, all that food it
Ooh.
kind of made its way underneath the house and eroded some soil, and it ended up breaking the stem wall, the foundation,
Yikes.
and creating that crack that was in a weird place for me. But so moral of the story is if you are not buying or selling a house and you've been in a house a while, to give me a call and I can get under your house or get on your roof or in the attic, places you don't normally go or see, to just make sure everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and then while you're crawling underneath the house, I know my favorite story is the raccoon story. You want to let them in on what happened?
Yeah, no. Usually when I go under the house, I'll shoot my flashlight and make sure no eyes are looking back at me. Especially the kind with no legs. I don't want to run.
Oh yeah.
So I got under there. I must have forgot to do that or didn't see it, but yeah, sure enough, I crawl under the house and there's a mama raccoon under there, and she was not happy to see me. Thank God there was a piece of ductwork in between us. She was about where you were, and I was about here.
That close, huh?
Yeah. Oh no,
that's scary.
And she's screaming at me. I don't even know how to make that sound, but it was eerie. I didn't even get goosebumps, but and I'm yelling back at her, and we're yelling at each other. And then I have this flashlight that gets really bright, and so I can look at like things up, and sometimes I'll forget to turn it off.
Oh yeah,
and I'll be like done with the stove or done doing that, and I'll be like, do you smell that? I think I smell fire. And it's actually my flashlight. I forget to turn it off, and it's burning a hole in my gear, but it's smoking. But anyway, it gets that hot, so I just shot it in her face and at her eyes, and she was. It
was enough to get her out of there.
She was gone. But how'd she get in there? They had a vent screen that had been bent back for the crawl space, and she was just living it up underneath there. But yeah, that was a problem. I don't want to get in a fight with a raccoon underneath the house.
Yeah, I'm good with that too.
But that's probably one of the funnier stories. Situations that I hadn't been in before.
And that's just one of the tools you have. I mean, you should see this guy when he shows up. He looks like a Ghostbuster or something. He's got all like a tool belt full of stuff and all these ladders, and you got the crawly thing that goes under there. But I guess you weren't using it that day, or it just wasn't working for you.
No. The crawler was, one of those things that I thought was going to be a good idea, and didn't quite work out. And but basically what it does is you can put this remote control car with a camera and flashlights and stuff. But it made it kind of hard to see up on the sill of where the foundation and the framing meet. So I couldn't really get a good inspection. So I was like, well, I'll just use it for areas I can't get to, right? Because there's duct work and piping and stuff that sometimes you just can't get under. But then I was like, well, if I put it over there and it gets stuck, how am I going to get that back? So kind of put that away. But we have other great, new tools that help us out. Drone is one.
I love seeing those drone photos from the roof.
Yeah, no, it does a really good job for, types of roof like concrete and clay tiles.
Yeah, because I've seen you be on the roof before, but that's for like asphalt shingles.
Yeah, asphalt shingles. I'll get up there. I'll do that just because I can. I like to get up on the roof when I can. But the drone works so good now that I can see little cracks in the tile by the camera and everything. We also have a thermal camera that we use and a moisture meter that helps us kind of see what's going on behind walls and ceilings and stuff.
I remember the first time you showed me that. We had a little condo out in Sacramento. I mean, this guy went all the way out to Sacramento for a $207,000 condo to do inspection for us. And we found quite a few things. It was good. We got some money back for the buyer on that one. And that kind of leads me to the we were talking about earlier about doing, if you're representing the seller, I always highly suggest that the seller has a home inspection done up front, because it really does protect them. Because otherwise, if you don't, and whoever is representing the buyer is going to go in there, like I'm doing right now. Actually, I got one I'm about to put in the contract. You'll be going out there next week if Lena says you have time.
Yeah, right.
That's always the thing. If you find something, then it opens up the negotiation, because all of a sudden we have new discovery, right?
Right.
But if the sellers are doing it up front, like I mentioned earlier, like if we see your inspection in there, like, that's good, let's look through it thoroughly. But everything that's on there is probably going to be the gospel, right?
Yeah, no, I pride myself on, going places that, are hard to get to, looking at things. And I'm very detailed. I'm a Marine. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Attention to detail. And, um, so yeah, I'm a huge fan of seller inspections. One is, there's no surprises like you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
If you're in contract and I'm doing it for a buyer, the inspection's the exact same, but now I'm the first person that's telling this person that their house isn't as amazing as
As they thought it would be.
thought it was, right?
Yeah.
Everything's fixable. Don't get me wrong, but now you're in contract, and now we have potential surprises that pop up
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Whereas in the seller's side of things, it's all out there, right? It's
Right.
this is it. If they bring in another inspector, which people do, and I get it, and but we have a very good reputation in this area that
Absolutely.
people
Yeah.
see that, oh, Shanen and Blue Diamond did that. You can bring in another inspector, but he's pretty thorough. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of sellers, right? And that way, if you get with you and and you're more read into the market than I am. I'm just identifying things and saying that this is an issue or could be potentially an issue. You're more read in the market, be like, yeah, we should probably fix this, or no, we don't need, and then I can turn it over to you to take care
and
of
also, it saves a lot of time, because sometimes if the inspection's already done and the buyer, is really picky, or they don't have the funds to do it, and it's, maybe a multiple offer situation, the least expensive homes are typically the ones that need a little bit of work, right? And those are the ones that the buyers are just trying to limp in and be able to comfortably afford it. So it saves everybody a lot of time and hassle, and it really is worth it, I think.
Yeah.
And the report itself, I love the way you have it set up. It's a color coded system. So if it's red, oh, danger, danger. That's health and safety, right?
Right.
And then you got, orange is more moderate, and then blue seems like it's more informational, little tiny things.
Yeah, so something like blue would. So yeah, we had the three categories. Blue would be normal home maintenance, right? Welcome to home ownership.
Yeah.
Right? Caulking and outlets that don't have covers, or just small things that just need to get done.
Keep raccoons from getting under your house.
Right. Yeah, like the screens, the maintenance thing, right?
Yeah.
You don't need a licensed professional to tell you that your screen's bent and the raccoon can get under there. You just need to, fix the vent. Orange, which is, further attention, right? What I use is, for example, is trim, right?
Okay.
So you have home inspection, you have termite inspection, right?
Yep.
So I go in, if I see a whole bunch of trim, moisture damage, or rot, or stuff like that, that would fall under orange. Like, let's bring a certified, licensed professional in here that can take a further look at it, right? And under California law, that home inspectors are not allowed to work on houses that they inspect for 12 months. So that's why when you get a home inspection, there's no pricing involved with that, where a termite inspection, you'll get pricing because they are authorized to do the work on the things that they identify, right? So that orange is that, right? I noticed you probably want to bring a termite guy in here if you haven't already. He can give you an assessment of the things that I'm pointing out and give you a pricing with it to give you more information to allow you to make an educated decision, right? And then red is health and safety, where someone can get injured or sued, right? So I always joke around and say, if it's red, that housewarming party that you're throwing for your nice, beautiful house, if you don't fix that red thing,
and
it might be their beautiful house. Right? So,
yeah, they might be throwing a housewarming party after you.
Yeah, red are those things that, we're joking, but someone can get injured, right? And we want to get those things corrected or identified, so they can get fixed when possible.
And I just had a thought. I should probably have Andy on here too to do the termite inspection video.
Yeah, no, I love working with Andy for sure.
And I noticed you don't just do the home, but you do the roof, and then don't you do pools too?
I do pools as well.
Yeah.
No, so I do. So part of ours, how we do our inspections, I do roofs down to foundation. All your major systems, your HVAC, your electrical, your plumbing. But I went and I got certified to do to be a pool inspector.
Yeah, I remember when you did that.
Yeah, and then the certification I got, I wasn't quite comfortable with the level of education I got through that, so I took a advanced pool certification course to make sure that I can give a quality product to
Oh, that's great to hear.
the clients. Yeah, so and you get a great discount if you tie it in with the home inspection.
I didn't notice that.
yeah, amazing discount with pool and home together. Yeah, for sure.
Right on. So if someone's trying to reach you and get further information, how do they reach you?
Yeah, come to our website at bluediamondhomeinspection.com. I have sample reports up there. You can kind of see a little bit about us, both me and my wife Lena. She's the better 3/4 of the company. She'll do all your scheduling and she'll get you in. She'll get you in to make sure that you and your clients are taken care of. Or you can give us a call at 925-232-2016.
Is that right, Lena? Is that the right phone number? Okay, great. She's he doesn't just say that because she's sitting right there. He says that without her sometimes.
Yeah, no, one of my go-to lines. Right?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for being here today and
Kevin,
giving us some insight.
Yeah,
and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.